Second Union Rosenwald School gave us a solid foundation starting out, and it carried on. We want to try to preserve the history of it, and we want to inspire people to come here to see the museum, to find out exactly some of the things that they probably didn't know or don't know about what transpired during that period of time.
This is my school to come to, and I love coming here, very much so.
We were taught how to do the right thing and when to do it, and to be gentlemen and ladies, and that lasted us.
There was a lesson taught that certainly as it relates to character and values. And those are the kind of things that money can't buy, but they last forever. Right?
I was taught here, and not only here, but at home also, that you could be anything that you wanted to be.
Yes.
You know, don't limit yourself. You know, if you wanted to be someone or be something, go for it.
The teachers that taught were special, and that they took the time to really want you to be productive and wanted you to move forth with a career.
Very much
and
so.
I think looking back and being a principal and assistant principal in Virginia's public school, licensed still, I can see even back then, these were outstanding teachers. They may not have had the best of things to teach with, but they gave us a great learning, great education. Right here in this two-room school.
Yes, indeed.
And students who have gone here have been able, because of that, to go anywhere in the country and do well.
And I might add that there was never, in my mind, a comparison with the white school versus the black school, because I never knew what the white schools were. I only knew what we had. And we made the best of what we had.
I had a different thought on that. I always thought that there was a difference there and that the other buses was better because our buses were always broke down and the other buses were always passing by, and the other buses were throwing things out the window at us and calling some names that weren't very kind.
Yeah, I do remember sometime when that bus broke down, we'd end up having to walk to school, finish walking to school.
As far as experiencing a lot of prejudice and racial tension, I didn't experience that. I grew up right there. My neighbors were white. You know, we played together, we rode bicycles together, we did everything together. It was only until I went to Richmond that, and my brother would tell you, he'll tell the story all the time, that we was coming up 250 and these white kids was throwing rocks at us and stuff, you know, and calling us names. And that's the only time I ever experienced any prejudice. And when I went into the military, I didn't find that to be a problem because of the fact I was always like one in a class or whatever. In Goochland County, my parents would also tell me, say, well, if you mind your own business, you know, they're going to be what they're going to do, but you mind your own business, you don't worry about what they're saying or what they're doing. But it's kind of difficult as a young child coming up to actually get that through your mind to dismiss that.
Well, you know, civil unrest, desegregation, prejudice, all that was terrible stuff. I was somewhat reserved, and being a country boy from Goochland, I didn't think that existed. And that was somewhere around Christmas time. I had a job, but I decided I was going to go up to Sears and Roebuck to test this thing out. Was it real? And I know I'm going to get emotional. I went up there, had my best suit on, shoes shining, and I sit around there for, I guess, 2 hours, and they interviewed everybody. And finally, I took my application up to the lady. I said, you know, I'd like to know if I can get a job. And she said the regular speech that we all heard back then. I'm sorry, we don't have any openings. We'll put your application on file. And if we have something, we'll contact you. And as I was going out the door, I turned around and she threw my paper in the trash. I knew it then.
So those were interesting days, a difficult time. And so,
but still, you move on.
I was sort of an activist. I got in the field and have done a lot of those things to particularly move all people along, and particularly when it deals with fairness and equity for all people. I was in the setting, particularly up on Lombardy at the corner of the White Tower. And we filled up all of the seats in the White Tower And it was about 1 o'clock in the morning. And of course, the ladies who were managing that night had to call the manager to get up and come and tell each one of us to leave. And then of course, outside we were waiting the paddy wagon to take us on down to jail. But of course, we got up and we left, and we came back night after night for about 2 or 3 weeks. And the same thing with the movie theaters. You know, I remember marching in that group down there on, down not at the Lowe's, but the State Theater, just across from where Tallhammer's and Miller Road used to be. And I remember going around, and the lady asked the lady to take my $1 for the movie. And she said, I said, well, what's wrong with it? I said, George Washington's on it. And she said, yeah, but I'm sorry, we can't take it. So,
When I was growing up as a child, that when you went into the stores, you know, you look at things to buy, but you couldn't try anything on.
that is if you're black, right?
Yes, yeah, you couldn't try on the clothes. We did a lot of ordering from Sears and Roebuck and other
Catalog.
places, catalogs, but no, I mean, you could buy it, but yeah, but you couldn't try it on.
We'll always look for the silver lining in the cloud. It was tough. In retrospect, you wonder how you came through it. But it gave you a sense of survival and a sense of loyalty and duty and what you can survive.